What if I told you that masturbating in your 50s could either protect your prostate or slowly destroy your sexual health without you realizing it? Every single year, over 288,000 men in the US are diagnosed with prostate cancer. Nearly 35,000 die. And yet, thousands more are silently living with one haunting question. Is my private habit, something I've been doing for years, hurting me or helping me? You see, many men over 50 are told to cut it out, to stop ejaculating, to be ashamed of their desire. But what if suppressing it is actually making things worse? What if the very thing you're afraid of is what your body desperately needs to stay alive? In this video, we're going to dive deep into the science of ejaculation, prostate health, and the misunderstood truths about masturbation after 50. You'll discover what's myth, what's fact, and what you can actually do starting today to protect your manhood, your hormones, and maybe even your life. So, if you've ever felt confused, ashamed, or just unsure about your sexual habits as you age, stay with me. This might just be the most important video you watch this year. And if you've ever had similar questions or struggles, comment the number 1 below so I know you're not alone and I can create more honest, real conversations around this for you. Feel free to share your age, your year of birth, or where you're watching from. We read every single comment, and your voice helps shape the next videos. And hey, if this topic speaks to you, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. I'm here to bring you more down to earth, research backed content on men's health, one real talk at a time. Now let's pull back the curtain and look at what science actually says about ejaculation and prostate cancer. Because while opinions fly around everywhere, some telling you to stop completely, others saying more is better, the truth lies in real data. And one of the most cited and respected pieces of research comes from none other than Harvard. Back in 2016, researchers at Harvard Medical School completed an 18-year-long study tracking over 32,000 healthy men. They weren't looking at just short-term effects, they were digging deep into how lifetime patterns of ejaculation may influence the risk of prostate cancer. And here's what they found: men who ejaculated more than 21 times per month, that's just over 5 times a week, had a 20% lower risk of developing prostate cancer compared to those who ejaculated only 4 to 7 times a month. 20%, that's not a minor difference. And it wasn't just random. The most significant protective effects were seen in men in their 40s and 50s, the exact age group where prostate cell mutation risks start to climb. Yet the body is still responsive enough to benefit from healthy sexual function. Now, you might be wondering, how does that even work? What's the biological connection between ejaculation and cancer prevention? While the exact mechanism isn't fully confirmed, several leading theories point to one clear idea. Regular ejaculation helps flush out potentially harmful substances from the prostate. Think of it this way: your prostate produces fluid constantly. If that fluid sits stagnant, especially over days and weeks, it creates an environment where inflammation can build up, and inflammatory environments are breeding grounds for cellular damage. Ejaculation, in that sense, acts like a cleansing cycle, clearing out waste, removing dead cells, and reducing oxidative stress. On top of that, consistent ejaculation supports healthy pelvic circulation, which helps deliver oxygen, remove waste products, and bolster local immune defenses. In other words, staying sexually active, whether with a partner or solo, may help your prostate stay metabolically healthier and less prone to toxic buildup. But, and this is critical, we have to stay grounded. Just because two things are connected doesn't mean one causes the other. This Harvard study shows correlation, not definitive causation. Some smaller studies done in other populations haven't found the same benefits. And there are types of aggressive prostate cancer, like those with Gleason scores above 8, that don't appear to be affected by ejaculation frequency at all. So we're not saying ejaculation is a miracle shield. It's not a vaccine, it's not a cure. But what we can say is this: when done mindfully, regularly, and within the context of a healthy lifestyle, ejaculation, yes, even via masturbation, can be a natural tool to support your prostate's long-term health. The key is doing it in a way that supports your biology, not works against it. So the next logical question is, how much is too much? When does something natural become harmful? And is there such a thing as like a healthy masturbation, in your 50s and beyond? Or is that just wishful thinking? The answers may surprise you, and they're coming up next. Stay with me. So, if ejaculation might help lower prostate cancer risk, does that mean the more the better? Or is there a hidden danger in taking this idea too far? Here's where we need to slow down and confront some of the most damaging myths men over 50 have been fed about masturbation. Let's start with a few phrases you might have heard before, or even told yourself masturbation weakens the prostate. Men shouldn't be doing that at our age. Too much ejaculation will drop your testosterone. These ideas sound familiar because they've been passed down like old wives' tales by well meaning friends, outdated articles, or even underinformed doctors. But let's get one thing clear: repetition doesn't make something true. The belief that ejaculation somehow wears out the prostate is a misunderstanding rooted in confusion between temporary fatigue and actual organ damage. Feeling tired after orgasm is natural, but it doesn't mean your gland is failing. In fact, the opposite may be true. Regular ejaculation supports circulation and prevents fluid buildup inside the prostate, which we already know can become a breeding ground for inflammation. As for testosterone, it's time to bust that myth wide open. Clinical endocrinology studies have shown that ejaculation doesn't lower baseline testosterone in healthy men. Yes, levels might dip slightly in the hours after orgasm, but they rebound quickly and have no long-term negative effect. If anything, complete abstinence, especially when it's driven by guilt or shame, can trigger a stress response. Cortisol rises, testosterone drops, blood flow weakens, and sexual function declines. In trying to protect your manhood by avoiding it, you could be slowly dismantling it. And this leads to a dangerous cycle. I've seen men in their 50s and 60s who, out of fear or shame, have stopped ejaculating altogether. They thought they were being smart, protecting their prostate or conserving their vital energy. But instead, they developed issues like erectile dysfunction, low libido, poor sleep anxiety, and even mild depression. Why? Because the body is wired for rhythmic release. When you suppress it, unnaturally, systems begin to shut down. Testosterone regulation falters, pelvic circulation drops, even semen quality declines without renewal. The longer you avoid it, the more disconnected you become, not just from your body, but from your identity as a sexual being. So let's be clear: masturbation isn't the enemy. The real danger lies in misunderstanding it. And if you've been struggling with guilt or confusion about your habits, it's not too late to reset the relationship. The real question now is, how do you do it the right way? Because just like with food, sleep, or exercise more isn't always better. It's not about quantity alone, it's about rhythm, intention, and impact. Let's talk about what healthy ejaculation actually looks like. First, frequency. For most men over 50, somewhere between 2 to 5 times per week is considered optimal. But this isn't a strict rule. It depends on your physical health, hormone levels, emotional state, and relationship context. The key is consistency, not compulsion. You shouldn't feel like you're chasing a number. Instead, you should be listening to your body's signals. Second, quality matters just as much as quantity. Are you truly reaching orgasm, or are you rushing through it out of habit? Do you feel relaxed and clear-headed afterward, or guilty and empty? Do you sleep better? Does your mood improve? These are your body's ways of telling you whether the experience was regenerative or draining. And then comes the most important distinction of all: the difference between healthy conscious masturbation and compulsive dopamine-driven release. If you feel out of control, if you find yourself needing stronger visual stimulation every time, if you're stuck in a loop of porn and pressure, your body isn't benefiting, it's just surviving. Masturbation becomes less of a natural expression and more of an addictive escape. On the other hand, when ejaculation is integrated with awareness, when it happens in a calm, private space, free of unrealistic stimulation, it can nourish you. It can reduce anxiety, improve sleep, stabilize mood. The nervous system relaxes, the pelvic floor engages, testosterone stabilizes. And how do you ensure you're supporting your body while doing it? It's not just about the act, it's about the lifestyle that supports it. Men in their 50s and beyond should prioritize practices that improve blood flow and pelvic health. Kegel exercises to strengthen the pelvic floor, regular walking or light cycling to boost circulation, and avoiding prolonged sitting without movement. Even something as simple as standing up every 45 minutes makes a difference. Also, avoid using porn as a crutch. Hyperstimulation of the Visual cortex rewires the brain and can lead to loss of arousal with real partners or real moments. Your body becomes dependent on a screen instead of sensation. Likewise, skip the gadgets that force climax. They disconnect you from your own organic responses. And here's the bottom line: you don't need to be ashamed of wanting sexual connection with yourself. You just need to relearn the rhythm your body is designed for. But before you walk away thinking this is a cure all, there's one more thing you need to know. Even if you masturbate the right way, even if you hit all the right frequency zones, it doesn't guarantee protection from prostate cancer, especially not the most aggressive kinds. In fact, in some cases, ejaculation has little to no effect on the outcome. So, who's really at risk? What other factors should you be paying attention to besides ejaculation? That's exactly what we'll unpack next. Now let's zoom out, because even though ejaculation may support prostate health, it's not the whole story and definitely not a silver bullet. One of the most important things you need to know is this: ejaculation does not protect against the most aggressive forms of prostate cancer. Studies have shown that high-grade tumors, those with a Gleason score of 8 or higher, grow rapidly, invade nearby tissues, and often don't respond to lifestyle variables the same way low-risk tumors do. These are the types of cancer that often go undetected until they've already advanced. And in these cases, whether you ejaculate 5 times a week or none at all, it may not make a significant difference. That means masturbation done right may benefit your prostate when it's healthy, or perhaps in the early stages of risk, but once cancer cells have transformed into aggressive variants, lifestyle changes alone may not be enough. This is why no man should treat ejaculation like a DIY prevention plan. It's not a replacement for screening, it's not a guarantee. So, who needs to be paying extra close attention if you're over 50, and especially if you have a family history of prostate cancer? You need to start routine screenings, period. That includes men whose fathers, brothers, or uncles have been diagnosed. But even without family history, there are early symptoms you shouldn't ignore: waking up multiple times at night to urinate, weak stream difficulty, starting or stopping pressure or discomfort in the pelvic area. And if any of these are paired with full body signs like unexplained fatigue, weight loss, or persistent low back pain, it's time to get checked. Beyond ejaculation, there are other lifestyle factors that play a far greater role in your prostate health factors. Many men overlook. Diet is one. Diets high in saturated animal fats and overcooked red meat can increase oxidative stress and cellular mutation risks. A sedentary lifestyle lowers testosterone, increases visceral fat, and fuels systemic inflammation, exactly the conditions that allow abnormal cells to thrive. Lack of sunlight leads to vitamin D deficiency, another contributor to poor immune surveillance in the prostate, and chronic stress. That's the silent killer no one talks about. When cortisol is elevated for weeks or months at a time, your immune function is compromised, your hormone balance is disrupted, and your body becomes more vulnerable to cellular breakdown. And here's another crucial point: what about testosterone replacement therapy, TRT? Many men fear that using TRT will fuel prostate cancer. But the truth is, when done correctly, TRT doesn't raise your cancer risk. If you're working with a qualified physician monitoring PSA levels and you have no signs of precancerous lesions, TRT can be safe and even beneficial for energy, bone health, and libido. The real danger comes when men self-prescribe, buy it online, or follow advice from gym buddies instead of doctors. That's how early warning signs get missed, masked, and misdiagnosed sometimes until it's too late. So let's tie this together. Ejaculation is a tool, a potentially valuable one, but it's only one piece of a much bigger strategy. Without regular screenings, without attention to diet, movement, stress, and sleep, you're leaving blind spots wide open. And when it comes to prostate cancer, what you don't know can kill you. In the final part of this video, I'm going to bring everything back together. I want you to leave not just informed, but empowered, clear, and confident in how you move forward. So here's the bottom line: masturbation isn't the problem, misinformation is. You don't need to feel ashamed for keeping a private part of yourself alive. But if you want it to serve your health, not sabotage it, you've got to do it the right way. Start by listening to your body. Stay consistent but mindful. Keep your blood flowing. Don't skip your prostate check. And most importantly, stop letting guilt write your health story. If anything in this video gave you clarity, made you pause, or reminded you to take your health seriously, drop a number one in the comments so I know you're here and that this message matters. Feel free to share your age and where you're tuning in from. We really value knowing who we're speaking to so we can keep showing up with real helpful content. And if you got something out of today's video, hit like and subscribe so you never miss a conversation that actually matters to your well being.